Hi parents, it's Mr. Jarvis. So this week I want to talk to you a little bit about helping your child problem solve when he comes to a word by using meaning, okay? Last week we talked about some word solving strategies. So in other words, when they get to words, when they're stuck, sliding their finger looking for big parts in words. This week I want to talk about how you use meaning, how a child should use meaning to help them problem solve as they're reading, okay? Um, when I was growing up, and probably when you were growing up, most likely, your go-to for when somebody's stuck while they're reading is to sound it out. So, and sometimes that works, like we talked about last week, sounding it out, sounds are very important. And that helps us when we're stuck. But it doesn't always work, right? So when we come across words like the word the, T-H-E, you can't really sound out the word the. So those words we just gotta know and memorize. The word knight, like a knight in shining armor, K-N-I-G-H-T, or just the word night. You just really can't sound out those words. So we got to have some other strategies to help students problem solve. So really the goal for students is to be flexible with their problem solving. So when they get to a word, they're sliding their finger like we talked about before, looking for those big parts, but also thinking about what makes sense, right? And so at this stage for kindergarten, a lot of times it's going to be the pictures that helps guide them on what's happening in the story, okay? But also, the week one, I talked about how to give a good book introduction. And so that also really helps a child to understand what's happening in the story, okay? And that really helps them guide their reading, all right? So at this stage, again, with kindergarten, usually my prompt is, hey, get that word started, make the first sound or make the first few sounds, and think about what makes sense. Maybe even, prompting them to look at the picture to help them, okay? So, usually struggling readers or beginning readers are usually really strong at either decoding or, that word solving like we talked about last week, or they're really good at using meaning. It's usually one or the other. But again, the goal, just to reiterate, is, that flexible problem solving, okay? That we want them to be able to use both, all right? So I got my son here. I'm going to flip the camera around. This is Benson again. Say hi, Benny. And so Benny's going to be reading this book called Where's My Grandma, okay? And in week one, I talked about how to introduce a text. And so Benson and I already talked about, basically gave him a 1 to 2 sentence summary about what this is about. We practiced a couple words that I thought might be tricky for him. And we even practiced a phrase or two that we thought would be maybe a little bit tricky for him. But I left a lot of problem solving for him in this book. And so, what I'm really hoping is that when he gets to a word he doesn't know, he starts making the sounds, even for those big words, but then thinking about the story and thinking about what makes sense. So I want you to just kind of hear how I prompt him along the way. All right, Benny, let's go ahead and read Where's My Grandma. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, remember when your job as a reader, when you get stuck, you're going to start making those sounds and think about what makes sense. All right, go ahead, bud.
I am looking for my grandma.
All right. Right here.
Is she...
Keep going. Is she
in the kitchen? No, she's not.
She
Isn't in the
kitchen. All right, read nice and loud, okay? All right, keep going.
I am looking for my grandma. Is she in the bathroom? No.
She
She isn't in the bathroom.
All right. Can you read this nice and fast?
I am looking for my grandma. Is he in the yard? No, she isn't in the yard.
How did you know that word was yard? How did you know that, Benny?
Because it has a Y in it.
Oh, and were you thinking about the story? Where is she looking for her grandma? In the...
Yard.
Yeah, now you could have said in the backyard, right? But you were also thinking about how that word started. Start with the letter Y, makes it sound y, and that would make sense in the story, right? All right, keep going.
I am looking for my grandma. Is she in the bedroom? Yes. He
What's that word?
Here is Grandma.
My grandma. All right.
He is
getting. What's she doing? She's getting. Can you think about what would make? She's getting ready.
Ready.
Oh, is she getting ready? Would that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, go back and put it in your story. She is getting ready to
go out.
Are you right?
Yeah.
Is she getting ready to go out? Would that make sense in the story?
Yeah.
All right. And what's she getting ready to do, Benny?
She's ready to
Ride a motorcycle, right? All right.
Oh,
Okay. So parents, so hopefully that was a little bit helpful. He actually did a lot better than I thought he was going to do. But, you know, when he was stuck, I really, you know, was trying to prompt him about what would make sense, you know, in the story. And I even helped him, you know, get the word started. So he did a really good job with that. And so love to hear back from you and see how it's going for you guys. All right. Take care.